Welcome to the deep dive. We get a lot of questions about, quick health fixes.
Yeah, the market's flooded with them.
Exactly. So today we're looking at one that pops up a lot online, the Mansculpt Wave Therapy Pro.
Yes, that one.
We're going to really dig into what it claims versus, well, what the evidence actually says.
Okay, so the pitch, the marketing side, it's pretty slick.
Yeah.
They sell it as this non-invasive device for men's health.
Right.
Promises things like better blood flow, more stamina, and the big one, potential size improvements over time.
And they frame it as like a simple alternative to pills or, more serious medical treatment.
Precisely. Easy at-home use. That's the angle.
Okay, and they keep using this term wave-like suction technology. We have to unpack that. Is that a real thing or just fancy words?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Functionally, what the device does is act like a vibrating vacuum pump. Pretty simple, actually.
A vibrating pump. Okay.
And that action, the suction and vibration, it can temporarily increase local blood flow, vasodilation.
Which would explain why some users might feel maybe firmer short-term.
Exactly. Short-term effect. And that feeling is likely what fuels a lot of those positive testimonials you see right after someone starts using it.
Okay. But wait, if people feel something right away, isn't that kind of enough? For some users, I mean.
No.
Why scrutinize the long-term claims so much?
Because that's where the marketing gets, let's say, creative, maybe a bit misleading.
How so?
They use wave therapy in the name. That sounds very clinical, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Makes you think of actual medical procedures.
Right. And that seems intentional. It echoes things like low-intensity shockwave therapy, light ESWT. That's a real studied medical treatment.
Ah, I see. So they're borrowing the credibility of a real therapy.
It certainly looks that way. True shockwave therapy uses very specific energy levels. It needs proper equipment, medical supervision.
Yeah.
It aims to actually promote tissue changes.
And this device doesn't do that.
There's absolutely zero independent scientific evidence showing this kind of consumer gadget can cause permanent tissue regeneration or size increases.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have the right frequency or power.
Wow. Okay. So if the science for permanent change is basically non-existent, how do they sell it? Where does the argument go?
Testimonials.
Right.
And fine print. That's the pivot.
Right. Anecdotes over data?
Absolutely. You look at their website, it's heavy on user stories, very light on, independent studies. They might quote some impressive sounding stats.
So like success percentages.
Yeah, but good luck finding those backed up by any outside verifiable source. And usually buried somewhere is the disclaimer. Results may vary.
Always the disclaimer. Okay, let's talk about the money aspect too, because that's part of the deep dive. How much does this thing cost?
We found it typically selling for around, what, $60?
Yeah.
Maybe more, depending on the package.
$60. And is it unique or is it something else?
Well, here's the kicker. It looks remarkably similar to basic vibrating pumps you can find elsewhere online, often for significantly less money.
So it's potentially just a rebranded gadget with a big markup.
It strongly appears that way. It's a common tactic, unfortunately. Rebranding for a premium price.
And what about the guarantee? They usually push a money-back guarantee, right?
They do. But you have to read the fine print very carefully. Often, once the seal is broken, once you've actually used it,
It's game over for the refund.
it becomes incredibly difficult, yeah. The policy often has clauses about hygiene products or opened packages, which essentially cancels out the guarantee the minute you try the product. It's tricky.
So let's bring it all together for you, the listener. What's the verdict here?
The Mansculpt Wave Therapy Pro. Look, it might give a temporary sensation, a feeling of increased circulation from the vibration and suction.
A very temporary boost.
Yes. But does it deliver permanent size changes, tissue regeneration, or the long-term stamina benefits heavily implied in the marketing?
The science says no.
The science says no. There's just no credible evidence for that.
Yeah.
It seems to be an expensive gadget dressed up in borrowed medical-sounding language.
Okay, so stepping back, thinking bigger picture. This whole situation raises a question, doesn't it?
It really does. If you're genuinely interested in improving performance or health,
Why go for something that relies mainly on testimonials and, let's be honest, vague marketing?
exactly. Why not explore options that actually are backed by solid, verifiable medical research? Or, talk to a healthcare professional for real guidance.
Instead of relying on a $60 vibrating pump with fancy branding.
Right. Choose evidence over anecdotes, especially when it comes to your health.
Good advice. Knowledge is power, as they say. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
Always interesting.
We'll catch you on the next one.